Rusame reader, Rusame, and today I will be reading to you from Everlasting War by Cake. Now, on to Chapter 10, Front Lines. Canada rode on his horse to a tent in the middle of a prairie, undisturbed by the lack of sounds. He was nearing the main battlefront, but this tent he needed to stop at was the commander of the military. He dismounted his horse and entered the tent, immediately being treated by a couple generals huddled around a table. "Good morning, Sir Canada," a man greeted, causing the rest to face him. "We were just trying to figure out a way to hold the lines." Canada nodded and looked down at the map, examining it carefully. "So, they're trying to flank our men, huh? All right. Well, we'll keep the men where they are. The troops from Hyle should be arriving soon and help reinforce our line." "Yes, sir. General York, will you relay the message?" "On it." Canada dismissed the other generals to go off and do their own thing, while he continued to stare at the map on the table. There were two maps on the table, one with the border of Prussia marked with battle plans and moved fronts and places of units. The other, however, was a map of Britannia showing the borders where the units were and when they'd get to the lines. He noticed some units were staying on the borders of the other nations, and he didn't blame his generals for keeping them there, but he knew he could move them. "General Penn," Canada called, bringing the man back into the tent. "These men are on the borders. They shouldn't be there. We are close with Tokugawa. The Emperor or heirs wouldn't attack us." "But Muscovy, sir. What about them? We don't know their new czar, so he can be unpredictable." "America has formed a friendly relationship with him when he was in Hyle for discussions. He's been sent to Muscovy to talk with Tsar Russia and keep us at peace. Right now, keep some troops there, but most likely we'll be able to remove them." The general nodded in response and began to re-examine the map, figuring out what to do next. He called for a colonel to be brought into the tent. "Sir Canada, this is Colonel Castiello. He'll be relaying the message to the troops at the Tokugawa border." "Pleasure to meet you, Your Highness," the colonel said, reaching his hand out. Canada accepted his hand and shook it, greeting the other back. "I've been told you have a mission for me. I will fulfill it to the best of my abilities." "Thank you. I need you to tell the troops at the Tokugawa border to make their way to the front lines. If you happen to cross paths with troops coming from Hyle, tell whoever's in charge to stop at this tent, but the rest of them can continue going." "I understand, sir." "You may leave." Canada watched as both men left, a heavy sigh leaving his body. He looked back down at the map, his eyes locking onto the listed units on the border with Muscovy. Canada put his hand in a pocket and pulled out a set of prayer beads, holding them in his hands firmly. He bowed his head, praying quietly that America would succeed and they could finish this war with as little casualties as possible. "Sir, you're going to have to see this." Canada quickly finished his prayer and put the beads back in his pocket and left the tent. He was immediately greeted by a massive army coming on the horizon. "And what the hell am I looking at? It looks like a herd of angry cattle." "That's the army Hyle sent, sir." The general stepped up next to Canada and let out a sigh of relief. "I am unsure of what you, Her Majesty Princess Malaysia, or His Majesty Crown Prince America did in Hyle, but whatever it was, It helped us a lot. Canada kept his eyes fixed on the approaching crowd. He knew he had to write to his father about the volunteers Hayel's Sultan sent, but he wanted to figure out the amount from their general first. Then something hit him. He knew Hayel's general in command would be there. Hey, all of you, they have a general in command, and he's a bit of a dick, so try to please him. If he threatens any of you, I need one of you to get me immediately. I'll be in the tent. Oh, and his name is Egypt, but you'll refer to him as General in Command Egypt. Despite most of you being generals, he's just stuck up. A bit of an ego, eh? A general joked, earning laughs from the rest of the group but Canada. Canada ducked back into the tent and began mental preparations for the man he was about to meet. He met Egypt while in Hayel, but he hated every bit of that man. He sat down in a chair and pulled out a messenger kit and began writing his letter, knowing damn well that Egypt would give him so much of a headache he couldn't write it after. Now all he had to worry about was making sure Egypt doesn't kill his officers and America in Muscovy. And that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed. Anyway, I'd like to invite you to join the Discord, which is linked down in the description below. That being said, I hope you have a nice rest of your day, night, or whatever it is for you. Just enjoy your time. And I will see you tomorrow.